Hey friends, glad to be back. In today's video, I'm talking about self-love and self-care and how those are keys to your personal happiness. So today I'm talking about self-love first and how when we love ourselves, it leads to having a better self-care because we see the value in ourselves. This process begins with what I like to call a self-celebration. So how do we celebrate ourselves? What does that mean? Do we have a party for ourselves? What does that entail? And I believe that entails taking some time on your own, spending time with just you at your house, your apartment, or whatever, and actually getting to know yourself. And even going a step further, but being appreciative of your mind, your body. I mean, for heaven's sakes, actually every single body part you have is doing something essential to your day-to-day life to allow you to be on this planet, to be able to walk, to be able to talk, to be able to eat, to be able to breathe. And so there's some inherent value, but have we actually celebrated ourselves at this level ever before? Recently in my show on Amazon Prime, The Celebrity Perspective, I interviewed Lawrence Zarian, and Lawrence has, well, he has a good perspective on this. Let's go to that right now.
I say this. Get a glass of wine if you want, get apple cider, get whatever you want. One day you need to go home, turn off all the lights, take off all your clothes, and stand in the mirror and throw the lights back on and look at yourself naked. Say hello to your boobs, say hello to your butt, say hello to your thighs, say hello to your body, because you're not going to go back to that body in high school. It's not going to happen. No. You're not going to go back. And who knows what tomorrow's going to be. If you don't celebrate, embrace, and look in the mirror and say, I love you. These are my boobs. I got big boobs and these are them. I love them. Look at my butt. If you don't celebrate yourself, who's going to celebrate you? And everybody's unique.
I think that's great. I love Lawrence. I mean, that is directly to the point. I mean, think about it. Being in your house, checking out your body, just being happy and grateful for every single piece of your body. It's amazing because you're an amazing being. And when we actually accept how valuable we are, we begin to celebrate ourselves and create that happiness. So whether or not you want to follow that to the T by getting in front of that mirror, popping those lights up, and just saying hello to every one of your body parts and just celebrating that, you can do something like that. You might do something a little more low-key, but either way, you get the point, I think, from that imagery of what I'm talking about. I think the really cool thing about this particular activity is that for the first time, when you think about it, you're actually caring about your body. I think most of us have never done this. You know, it wasn't until recently, several years ago, that I actually pretty much kind of created my own celebration session and realized how impactful it was, because we don't really give ourselves the kudos. We really don't pat ourselves on the back. We don't find that self-love often because what? Because we're comparing ourselves to other people. We're comparing ourselves to this person or that person, or looking at that lady wanting, God, she's got, you know, better boobs than I do, or her face looks nicer, or she's got a smaller nose. I always wanted that smaller nose. And so we're constantly comparing ourselves by our shortcomings, and we're not realizing the king or the queen that we truly are. And so when you're actually celebrating yourself, and even if you're going to the idea of what Lawrence is talking about, remember to resist the concept of comparing, and also resist putting yourself down, because this is you, this is your body, and you're an amazing being. Secondly, when we begin to self-love and celebrate ourselves, we actually self-accept ourselves right now. We realize the miracle we are. We realize how lucky we are to be alive, and we do this now instead of waiting till we're too old. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I compared myself to almost every woman I saw in a magazine, on TV, and I wanted to look different. You've heard me in videos talk about how I wanted to have a different voice. I wanted to have that high-pitched cheerleader voice. Well, I didn't have it, and I wasted a lot of my lifetime wanting something that I wasn't ever going to have. And I never embraced the stuff that I had. And when I finally did, I look back and I go, what was I doing in my 20s? What was I doing the whole time? Because when we resist the desire to celebrate ourselves, we lose out on all this time on the planet that we could actually be patting ourselves on the back and finding the love within us, instead of looking back and saying, wow, I missed all that time celebrating myself. Now I'm older. God, I looked great back then. I mean, when you look back at the pictures back then when you were in your 20s and 30s, for anybody that's watching this video, when you look back 10 years ago, when you were being really, really hard on yourself, you look great. You're phenomenal, but you never appreciated yourself at that point. So isn't it time to start appreciating yourself now while you still got a lot of time to do it? I think so. The third thing that's really interesting is that when we actually self-love ourselves, it actually makes us more in tune with our body. Okay, how does that happen? Well, when we actually love our body and we care about like our organs and everything else, and we actually begin to pay attention, we're able to pay a greater attention to ourselves as, are we feeling good? Are we healthy? Are we happy? Are we at homeostasis? Is something out of whack? Do we feel unhealthy, perhaps maybe having a fever, perhaps maybe our leg is hurting? We're realizing maybe it's time to go to the doctor and actually be proactive about our health. And when we're not trying to hide ourselves anymore and we see the value in our body, we begin to see that value so inherent that we care more and we do more for our body because we know, well, this body's got to last us our entire lifetime. And so if something's not working right now, or we're having pain, or we're feeling sick, let's go in and get that checked out at the doctor, try to figure that out so we can continue to live a full life, but also to do what's right by our body. And I think that's inherently important, but it doesn't come around until we actually love ourselves and take that opportunity to do what's right for our bodies. And the fourth thing that's interesting is when we're more in tune with our body, we're able to provide more consistent self-care, keeping ourselves healthier and happier on a constant daily basis, okay? So it's not about being healthy one day and not. It's about consistently asking yourself in the morning, how am I feeling? How am I doing? Have I drank enough water? Have I eaten the proper foods? Have I taken care of myself? Have I stretched today? Have I worked out today? Am I in tune with my body? Is there something that I'm not doing that I need to do to fulfill a healthier lifestyle? And those things are really important, especially when we age, because, our body's becoming a little more fragile and we really need to take care of that. And I feel like the more timely we are with those situations, the better the situation is, and the less that we've let something go for a long time and not taken care of the actual problem. We all find faults with our body. It's human to find faults, but it's godly to really embrace our body and to embrace the version that we come in on this planet as. When I was born with a condition that nobody understood. I was in the hospital 300 days out of the year. I ended up having to have a doctor because my mom couldn't take me to the hospital all the time. Growing up like that and having a condition that nobody understood made me really, I didn't love myself, okay? I wanted to hide, and because I felt like I looked different from other kids, I wanted to hide that about myself too, okay? And so when I grew up, I couldn't stand it. Anything I could do to cover my body and not deal with it was what I chose to do, okay? If I could go back right now and change the way I treated myself, oh my God, I don't have that opportunity, but I'm able to change it now. And I want you to watch this clip right now. In that same interview with Lawrence, he asked me a question about what would I say to my 5-year-old self. And I think this is really impactful, and it'll really kind of make it sense for you of why this is important for you to do this exercise and to love yourself.
I know it's going to be so Barbara Walters, but it's such a question that I love, and for whatever reason I'm just being propelled, to ask you this question. If you could go back in time as an adult as you are now and talk to your 5-year-old little girl, what would you say to her?
Wow. You made me cry. I would have to say that you're amazing and you're awesome, and don't ever think differently. And everything you do is good. And just be good to yourself, and don't put yourself down, and don't hate on yourself, and just love yourself and see how amazing you are, because you are. And I think everybody watching this show, if you can just take a moment right now to realize that, it's very valuable. It changes everything. I hope that you feel the connection with this as well, because I've realized that if I could have self-loved myself a long time ago, man, sky's the limit, but now I'm doing it. If you can do that right now, whether you're getting in that bathroom, taking your clothes off, putting the lights on, and just being part of it, or just spending time with yourself and accepting everything about you. However you want to do this exercise, do it often, be consistent, and realize how amazing you are, because I know how amazing you are. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Please tell your friends and family about it, because I think that a lot of this content could really impact their life in a really positive way. And this time, more than anything, we need positive content that can help us in our lives. And I hope that this channel does that for you. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to live your true life.